Okay. Well, welcome back, everybody. It is episode 21 of an LPL English podcast. It's Alec, joined by Kman and Yanni. And guys, we have made it. The podcast can now legally drink all across the world. We finally crossed the threshold. I know, Yanni, we were having a lot of fun on the 420 episode, which episode was that? 8? 10? Wow. That was forever ago.
It really
That's 11
was.
episodes, including in the whole MSI. That's crazy. But yeah, we're back. Gentlemen, how are we feeling?
I'm feeling good. Hey, LPL, it's been a little bit wild. I think we jumped back into action pretty quick, and I think we saw that these rosters need a little bit of growing time, especially some of the new ones, but I think that's made it fun. Had some crazy games. We've had almost a 60-kill game, and we've also had some games that have gone forever for no reason, so we've really gotten the whole gambit so far.
Yeah, I'm super. It's so weird. Because we're halfway done the regular season already.
Yeah.
It's gone by in the literal blink of an eye. Once we get to Friday, I think almost every team is gonna have their 7th game taken care of. So that's just so crazy to think about. But it's been wild. It's been wacky. And somehow, some way, JDG is still not put it together.
Yeah, we know we were talking about this last week. If you're wondering if somehow you missed all of a week of LPL, well, we've got the standings in this next slide here. It's not changed very much. Not very much has changed for this. Here is our standings. Again, JDG only taking a single win from this last week with their win over TT, which, look, I was so happy, and then I saw that Game 3 draft from Thunder Talk, and I got depressed again. So, yeah, I don't know. And then I had to cast this JDG Top Esports series, and I don't want to say they're, anti-clutch, because that's, a word I would, really associate with, a player like Hope from AL, but they are not happy that this meta is basically, it doesn't matter that we're up 3,000 gold, you lose one team fight, and the game's even again.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely a weird team to try and analyze what the problem is, because again, usually you'd be like, oh, good, we're consistently getting leads, and that is the most important thing generally in League. It has not mattered at all for this team. I mean, they get so many leads and they throw them away over and over again. Their team fighting is terrible, which is strange because that's what they were good at the beginning part of this year. It feels like everything is flipped. This was a team that was playing 35-minute games regularly when the meta was blitz you in the early game and just try to get as many advantages as possible. Now they can't win a late game to save their lives. I think the only saving grace for me when it comes to JDG is that, at least in week 2, where you expected them to make some strides, they played BLG and Top Esports, which are the teams you kind of should be losing to. And so, they've got LGD and EDG coming up. You gotta hope it's gonna be better for them this week.
That's what I said on the show. I was like, go guys, next week is a free week. You're playing against these two teams. And, Mazel was like, oh, you're playing WE on Sunday. Is that really a free week? I'm like, look, if you lose to them, whatever. But you cannot lose to EDG and LGD. It would be maddening, and you would then be starting your first round robin 1-6, and that is grounds for a lot of weird things to start happening with this roster. Yanni, what did you think of this week 2 of LPL?
In terms of the week as a whole, man, I'm just so sad about Thunder Talk. I'm just so sad about them. It's just so they're 1-5. They have 6 individual game wins, guys.
Yeah.
Eventually, we have to close out a series. This is essentially what Team WE was in 2025 when they got so close and it's just eventually they'll win one of these. Nah, man. Sometimes you just won't win one of those.
I don't know, bro. I've been so happy with Thunder Talk's drafts for 90% of their games. They have coherent drafts. I think they understand that even if they go down a couple thousand gold early, they have strong team fighting sense. I love watching this team, but I predicted that Thunder Talk would actually beat JDG, and I was like, dude, I was feeling good. They win a game that they shouldn't have won. JDG throw what was a huge lead. Like, you have Hongq on lock, which we don't really have to get into too much of the champion other than the fact that the champion's win rate outside of LPL has been amazing.
Yes.
But he starts off the game solo killing Haru twice. And then they throw the game trying to gank Keshi top lane, and that just completely blows everything open. I'm like, dude. And then game 3, the Kha'Zix angle, and they're just getting their pockets ran. There's the Vayne into Malphite.
Yeah.
It's just like,
And for what it's worth, I agreed with you, right? I was like, yeah, man, like you proposed that in the Discord, and I was like, you know what? I think you're right. I think they're gonna go get the dub. And then that happens, and it's funny because I didn't see the last game until like afterward. I was like, oh, all right. I'm like, oh man, they lost. Like, how did they lose? I see this Kha'Zix, and I'm like, oh, this must have went horrifically, and it was so much worse than I could have imagined.
It really just it's so frustrating because all the tools are there for them. And I think this is a team that has gotten better. I think obviously they're a team that has invested a lot into making sure that they get the most out of these young players. But at the end of the day, like, the execution and the macro from this team is also a problem. In my opinion, in the late game, they are constantly in the wrong spots, making wrong decisions. If they figure that out, they're a good team. Their hands are actually good, like very good. They absolutely can live at this level if they can just kind of twist a couple of things. I think their drafts have been really solid. JDG are just a mess in basically every way. They're a very similar story of good hands, bad macro, but it's in a very different way, where the good hands are very much on very specific players like Xiaohao when he needs to, and generally Hongq, I think, has been good throughout a majority of the split, at least individually in his matchups. Jiejie has been a nightmare in the jungle. I have no clue what's going on there, because I thought he was really good last split. A huge part of why they were near the top of the standings for most of the regular season. He has just collapsed at the start of the split. He's got to turn it around.
There's no way they lose. If they are a normal team with normal players, that game 1 start versus top esports is unlosable in like 80% of games. That was
What is
atrocious.
a normal team with normal players?
WE, they're a normal team with normal players. Not in the jungle, maybe not in the jungle, but all the rest of their players are normal.
I
the
don't
4
know
to 5
about
of them are
that,
normal.
Chief. We've criticized many of their players in the past. Mostly
Quacks
their solo laners.
ended up casting the Thunder Talk game, and the thing that he said that I felt really resonated was this team gets a lot of grace because they're not expected to do very well, and their record at the time was like 5-9, or it was 5-8. So your record is much better than your series score, and you are, again, a team with very little expectations. And while you haven't gotten another series win, you've gotten very close to doing so. But losing all 3 series this week starts to kind of eat away at some of that like goodwill that we gave to them. Like, yes, I'm excited about this team because likely, depending on if they finish 7th or if they go into top 6, I think that depending on what their matchup is into play-ins, they could actually get out and maybe finish top 6 in playoffs. I'm not going to give them much more than that, but if you are going to continue to lose games against these top teams, it does make me less excited and it just makes me feel less likely that this team is going to do very much in a best of 5.
And the road's not getting easier for them. Like, week 3 is LGD, WE, and then
Top esports.
Top esports,
Yeah.
and then BLG, and then AL the week after. It's like there's a chance that you have your 1 win in LGD, and even then, that's not guaranteed by any means.
That's fine.
And then we're back to our regularly scheduled program of getting our ass beat by the top 4.
I will say, that LGD series, that might be the only one you actually have to win, depending on how things go.
True.
Like, as long as LGD also don't beat those other top-tier teams, like, you just have to be top 6 to get into playoffs. As long as you're not bottom 2 in the group, you don't have to go through play-ins at all. You just get to skip it completely. To me, that is the goal for Thunder Talk, is to get top 6, to get into playoffs guaranteed, and to make sure they're there. LGD Thunder Talk on Thursday, like, that is actually, like, the biggest series of the week, or, like, one of them. Certainly one of the more deterministic series, because I think genuinely the winner of that could actually just be the team that ends up getting 6th.
Possibly. We'll get into some more Group Nirvana stuff a little later on in the show, gentlemen, but I wanted to keep us moving along here to basically the biggest rumor of the week outside of the confirmation or the soft confirmation that Flandre is going to be going over to BLG, which we can talk about during the section. But we have got what I think is actually maybe just the ultimate masterclass in hedge coaching from Mr. Clearlove himself. He goes on EDG. Obviously, EDG is like his home ground. He's like, man, Abo's not looking really tight right now. So they obviously lose their coach after what was a super disappointing play-ins loss. They bring in Clearlove. He goes, guys, we just need a new support. Let's get Jiejie. Okay? Jiejie, I know him. I've worked with him from EDG. We'll bring him on board. Okay? Man, this Weibo team is just not working. They lose their series against NIP and IG. Apparently they mental boom. The rumor originally was that Jiejie, Elk, and Jiejie essentially all quit at the same time. Jiejie's apparently had personality issues in the past, and Jiejie just did not, or he's like, guys, this is looking done. This roster's looking cooked.
From Jiejie to GG.
And so Clearlove, in another masterstroke, he goes, you know who's another jungler I've worked with in this last year? Xiaohao. Let's bring him over. Look, if Xiaohao doesn't work, there's Angel sitting in the offset right now. We could just get another EDG reunion going through.
Oh, you're looking at this the entire wrong way. You have to see the truth behind the walls that they have built for you. This is all an operation from Agent Clearlove. He has invaded Weibo Gaming. He has torn them apart from the inside. He has gotten Jiejie back onto Edward Gaming and has given them a chance to be able to be more relevant in Group Ascend. Come on, man. I mean, this is peak LPL drama. I mean, this is exactly the kind of thing that one team had to experience in this Group Nirvana. We knew that when all 4 of these teams that all expected themselves to be in Group Ascend went down, one of them was going to explode. We've been talking about it for months. Somebody was going to be the one to have to bite the bullet. Unfortunately for Weibo, it's them, which really sucks because I do think that they potentially could have been good enough to at least make the play-ins. You make the play-ins, you probably make the playoffs, and you can still make Worlds from there, but not anymore. I love Xiaohao as the resident #1 Xiaohao believer for the rest of time. He is trapped in purgatory now on a Weibo team that has completely given up.
The biggest losers of this move are Kman and ZDZ, because their favorite player has been kicked their ass out to Weibo
Actually,
Gaming.
yeah, we just broke up ZDZ and Xiaohao, finally.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Hasn't happened for a very long time. But
I feel you have to feel bad for him, right? Like that's gonna suck. Like not playing games with your bestie anymore. Like, yeah, my best friend Hoppy stinks at League of Legends, but I love playing with him. You know, like I you know, whenever I'm not playing with him, I'm like, damn, it kind of sucks.
Why couldn't we do a double swap, man? Get ZDZ and Zika to swap too. We can just keep everybody coherent. Get everybody back on the same page.
That would be a super banger lineup. For folks who do not know, by the way, ZDZ and Xiaohao, outside of a single split of LPL for summer in 2024, since 2021, these guys, or 2022, these guys have played together as a top jungle for 4 different teams now. They played on AL, they played on Weibo. They or I guess now it's 3 teams with them now moving over to EDG. It has been 4 years of them working as a top jungle. I'm sure it's not going to change very much for ZDZ, as junglers never go to that lane anyway. How do we feel? Let's take this from one team and then we'll move into the next one. How do we feel like this impacts EDG's lineup? Because I still don't think it will fix this team, but I see some angles that we could go for.
I certainly think it makes them better, if only just because the biggest issue EDG had to me is that Xiaohao was by proxy their best player, with everyone else just underperforming, and he's so passive. He's just really safe, very formulaic, very much a facilitator, wants to play within tempo, play around his laners. You just can't have that as a guy that needs to elevate the rest of the team. Like, Jiejie is at least going to bring us spark here. And I know we're a little ways off of this, but like, we're only a couple of months out from that winter split playoff run where Jiejie was like actively dragging Weibo to top 3 and it could be the #1 option, absolutely could carry the team. There is talent on EDG. I think there's plenty of other problems on that team. Perukia, I think, has been one of the worst players in the LPL so far this split. He is just not adapted to being back in the league. Leave is consistently running it down. And another thing, we didn't talk about Jiejie Leave reunion on EDG here, which is exciting for a lot of reasons. But, you know, there are certainly, you know, Bulldog has been terrible as well in the mid lane. Like, there are a lot of things that still need to get better for this team. It certainly doesn't make them a contender to not be bottom 2, in my opinion, but I think it gives them more of a shot than maybe they had before.
There's some intangibles that you get here as well, because by all accounts, he is the most accomplished player now coming in to EDG. So that's not something that we're necessarily going to see or, you know about as a broadcast team or even as fans or anything like that, but something that, you know, could elevate the team internally, right? It's like, now you have a guy you can look to as a proven leader, and he gets to essentially delegate, and I think the rest of the team will just be like, yes sir, we're doing it. Like, you say this is good, we're doing it, all right. And that's been one of the biggest issues, is that sometimes they're not connected when it comes to gameplay, specifically in some of these team fights, and maybe that gets shored up a little.
Maybe. I just want Jiejie to take the helm on this project and run with it, because you have a lot of regular season, and the only way it could get worse than 0-5 is 0-14. So, like, let's get some wins. They have a single game win, and that's
means
against
you get a
BLG.
good playoff run. If you go 0-14, that means you get a good playoff run, right?
Yeah, I guess.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. And then let's move over to the other side of this swap. Xiaohao over to Weibo. Now, there's been no rumors about Elk actually, like, leaving. I know that internally at the LPL English, we've been kind of talking about, like, does Elk just decide, like, I'm going to take a step back, I'm just going to stop playing for a little bit, just because highly likely he's going to get a high-level offer going into 27, just with the level of play we've seen from him this year and the 15 million supports he's had to play with. And even if Jiejie is done, they have Moham. So they can have Elk Moham, but then what else? Like, how do we think that Xiaohao is actually going to fit into Weibo? Because maybe Jiejie just does it. Like, I think any opinionated jungler with Xiaohao is just not going to work. You need someone that is going to follow the general.
I do think that's where this could actually be okay, which I know it doesn't feel like it will be. It's just such a strange fit in general, towards, like, I don't know, the way that these players have played and Xiaohao's not in form and all of this stuff. They worked well together when they played on Weibo in 2024, which this is a reunion for both of these junglers going back to teams that they have played for previously. That was Xiaohao's big ascension. He had those years on Anyone's Legend where he was a good jungler on a terrible team and had finally gotten an opportunity on a top-tier roster. Got to play a little bit with Xiaohao. He was kind of in and out. You know, he wasn't full-time starting in spring before they ended up replacing him with Tarzan. Xiaohao with Tarzan. But, like, to me, Xiaohao is there to facilitate his laners. That's what he's really good at. He has kind of given up on this, like, selfish carry mentality. That was my big problem with him on EDG, is he's regularly up, like, 100, 200 gold at 10 minutes into the game. His early games are really consistent. His pathing is very smart. It's methodical. He's not a bad jungler in terms of the process. It's just not what EDG needed. They didn't need him to be up 200 gold. They needed him to be up 1.5k gold at 10 minutes to have any shot. And I think that this is an okay fit. He's not as good of a player as Jiejie, so it's just naturally a downgrade from a hands perspective, but I think the more facilitative style could theoretically do something here, especially if Elk is on the team and you just full send for Xiaohao Elk and just try to get them fed.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The biggest issue that I have is that, you know, if you have as you said about the opinionated junglers and the general's got to worry about himself, bro. This guy has been not good for a while now, and it's sad. I'm never going to be the one to tell a player to retire, but I feel like this is starting to loom.
Hey.
It's starting to loom. This is bad.
You gotta leave the game before it leaves you.
Yes. But here's the problem. You've already gotten to the point where it feels like the game has kind of left you. You are at the bottom of Group Nirvana in the final split. When you are
you're near the bottom.
To go to
you're near the
Worlds.
bottom. Trust me, there's still a team that holds that bottom spot, and we will talk about them in a bit.
They're both in the not going to the play-ins part. You're at the bottom. There's only so much further you can go. Oh man, I don't think this is gonna fix much. I really hope that there's an invigorative spark and things change. I don't know, because again, as you mentioned earlier, no jungler ever goes top lane. That feels like a really good solo lane that you could play for, but just doesn't happen in this meta very often. Yeah. So I think the status quo is kind of going to stick. I do have a question for the both of you. So imagine Elk leaves, and imagine that we don't have a swap for a jungler. Jiejie leaves, open spot. If you could pick any jungler, any AD carry that is not currently contracted to a team, past, present, who are you picking?
Oh,
I am saying present. We are 0-2. Clear Love, get your ass in there. And we're calling up Double Lift. And we're bringing them over. And we're playing for fun.
I'm sure Crystal's number still works, by the way. He's played some of these classic games. What's up, Kman?
I just want to bring up real fast, in Yanni's suggestion, we would have a bot lane of Double Lift and Moham. I just want to make that clear.
He already had to play with Joey, okay? He already had to play with he already had to play with Ole at MSI. Let's not do that to him, okay? There's been some bad double lift bot lanes. Double lift Busio was horrendous.
It was not good.
Yep.
I still remember Busio 100 Thieves. Game 1, Azir into Heimerdinger. That was legendary.
That was a choice.
All of the wrong reasons. Before we move on, let's officially kind of tackle this topic. BLG Flandre, highly likely that's already been finalized. He's been added onto, he's not been officially announced, but every single rumor, every single credible rumor from LPL leakers is pointing to this being a thing. Do we think that this fixes the issues? We've been talking about Wenbo as kind of like okay, you're doing okay, bud, but your time is probably coming soon.
I gotta ask about the logistics of the signing, because I think I am a little confused. Can he play before second round robin? Is he allowed to play as soon as he signs? Because he was signed to AL, but he didn't play this split.
Yeah. So so the way that I understand the contract and way this went, and this is obviously going off of third-party information from someone else, but when they signed Breathe saved AL a ton of money because he didn't do tryouts. He didn't have to do anything, and this isn't a situation where Moham had to change his the reason why Moham hasn't started yet is because he's a Korean citizen, so his visa had to be changed from OMG, swapped out, so he has to return his visa. They cancel that one, and then they have to give him a new one. Flandre can just start whenever he wants, as long as he is signed. And the rumor originally was that by the time that BLG plays top esports, which would be this Friday, the 7th of August, Bin was supposed to be back. Now with Flandre in the picture, if the rumor still stood beforehand that if Flandre, if anybody plays that is not Bin is likely not playing for the rest of the year. He's just going to sit in contract jail for the end of 2026.
I mean, that is my big question mark. Is the reporting was that Bin was going to be back for the top esports series. If you have to choose between Bin and Flandre, you're choosing Bin. You're always choosing Bin. No matter what, you are picking him, which means that signing Flandre means that at the very least he's likely going to play, and Bin is. This tells me Bin is done. And if Bin is done, Flandre is as good as you can get for this team. He is the best weak side top laner in the LPL. I thought he was a much more stable presence than he got credit for on an AL team that was disastrous on the bottom side of the map last split. Just had terrible pressure there. So much responsibility was put on his counter picks to work, and most of the time they did. And when they didn't, I think he got a lot of attention for it. But obviously, this BLG system is totally fine. If he wants to come in and be the Cassante Ornn guy, Gnar every game, man, you've got Knight, you've got Shun, you've got Viper, like,
Hell
you're
yeah!
fine. You're good.
Hell yes!
You're good, brother. And like, like that's, to me, this is the best you can do if you're not going to get Bin. But if you're not going to get Bin, this team is worse. It's not a question.
Yeah, I think the question just is how much worse. The good news, I don't think it's that much worse. Like, this is still very clearly a world-class team, but I don't know if I'm willing to say, like, this team could win Worlds. I think this team can get close type of thing, and maybe if they get hot, maybe if the meta breaks their way, maybe. It's a lot of maybes.
I think a lot worse players have won Worlds on
Yes.
better teams than they should
Yes.
be.
For sure.
So
Couldn't agree more. That's why
I'm not
if the
saying
meta
that
breaks their
Flandre is
way.
obviously not a world-class player internationally, but we have seen plenty of teams where the best player in their role did not win the world championship that year. Plenty of times.
How many?
Regardless
how
of
many
even just
players?
looking outside of mid lane. So, like, and one thing that has been true of BLG has been this is a player-led team. You have way too many big personalities just between the solo lanes with Bin and Knight that have probably strong opinions on how you want to play the game. The joke before was that Knight was kind of like the mid lane terrorist, like, hey, you're coming to my lane, we're not doing anything. You're farming a camp. It's called my mid laner, right? My enemy mid laner. You're gonna come farm that camp. You're gonna come help me get a kill. You have On who wants to try all these different things and wants to try to drive the game his way. Like, we kind of joke about Shun as kind of just being like a carefree, happy-go-lucky guy, but he also has a way that he wants to play the game and is very structured in that way, even if sometimes he gets a little loose with it. But one of the problems last year is that we saw so many roster changes because this team was like, we just need someone to fit in and play, and you guys just need to figure it out. That I'm not going to say happy, because I hate the fact that we're losing a player like Bin to external issues that have nothing to do with the actual internal parts of the game, even if it is affecting it. But it is a part of management that is like putting their foot down and saying, look, you can't be acting like this. We will just replace you. It doesn't matter that you are the best player in the team or the best player in the league in your role. You have to show that there's some backbone in the GM staff. So I'm glad that they're willing to do this in protection of one of their players. And anytime there's interpersonal conflicts like this, that team is never going to last. So it's kind of like, do we put a ticking time bomb on this team and like pray that it goes off after we win the world championship if we get to that point? Or do we just cut it off now, put in someone who is reasonable to like a decent slot, and just we'll ride it out? Bin's contract ends this year anyway. They extended for one last year, and I'm actually trying to take a look as to when Knight was signed, because Knight's signed until the end of next year. So
yeah,
Knight was always
oh my god,
I just realized around.
I just realized the GCD is Shun, Knight, Viper, On are all contracted until the end of next year. Bin's is this year. Bin got 1 year bonus after last year. That's tough. If now another LCK team could be like, yo, Viper, we want you back home, big dog, and they could drop a bag, and that would be fine. But
if you get the bag, then you have the money to go get the now available Elk to come back to the team, and you'll be fine anyways. Like, it all works out in the end.
And Bin sees the error in his ways, and then we run it back.
We run it back
All
one
I'll
more time
say-
for the boys.
All I'll say is that I think with Bin out of the league, like if he's not playing, I think Flandre is the best top laner in the LPL. I think he
Yeah,
is a step
probably.
down from Bin, but I would have Flandre first among top laners left, and he's a good fit playstyle wise. Like, I mean, we're talking about the downgrade and like, oh man, they don't have Bin, like they don't have this world class like game breaking, like they're no longer
Superstar power,
like,
the star
like
power.
the mechanical team in the world that just like you have to hands check or else you have no ability. Like their style changes a bit. This is still like the best you could possibly ask for in this case. Somebody as experienced as Flandre, who fits them so well.
And it's really minus kind of minus one cook in the kitchen, right? Like obviously, you know, Flandre can when he wants to, needs to. But you know, as mentioned, very weak side player, one less cook in the kitchen, could work for the team a little bit more. However, my one worry actually extends to the bot lane. Can Viper continue to get away with like being the closer if you are not going to have this mechanical star power in the top lane anymore? And I think the answer is probably no.
What do you mean? He has a tank player now. He has a free tank player to play with him while Knight is smurfing his ass off.
I don't think he can just like keep being this closer and like I'm only going to show up at the end of the game, because I think that if that's the case, you are going to lose a lot of games in the mid game.
I disagree. I think Viper, me and Azale have actually come around on this idea that the Viper hate is overrated. He is, yes, he had a weak start to the year, but he's been completely fine since like Split 2 start. And
I don't disagree with that.
He has looked like it is so interesting to see that the top teams are sticking, and specifically the top LPL teams, because LCK's dropped mages at this point. The top LPL teams are still sticking with mages for the most part, but we're seeing AD carries being played, probably mostly in relation to the fact that the next patch is going to try to remove mages, which I'm still depressed. And this is a meta that is so fun. I wish we could stay in this, just with minor tweaks.
It's so annoying to play though. That's the problem. Playing it is annoying.
That is indeed the
Grow
AD
up!
carry player's mindset.
I don't want to play against Xerath.
Grow
I'll
up!
play against almost anything else. I don't want to see Xerath. I don't want to see Vel'Koz. Anything else?
They give you a free
Play
ban
Nautilus
at the beginning of
Play
games,
Nautilus. Yeah, also true. You can literally go into a game.
They give you a ban.
Yeah, that's what
This
I've been
isn't
doing.
like Classic.
I've been banning Vel'Koz.
There
There you go. Then that's your problem solved.
They pick Xerath.
Then you play
You gotta
Nautilus.
learn the Xerath,
You
Yanni.
play
That's the
Leon
only thing
again.
I'm hearing.
Yeah.
No.
You gotta learn the
I'm
Xerath.
not doing the job.
AD carry players, anything but actually having to come up with a solution outside of just straight up removing other champ. I'm so triggered by the Gumayushi quote where he's like,
Yeah.
I became a marksman, an AD carry player because I want to play marksman. It's like, dog, if I could, I would just eat pizza every single day, but I can't. So, like,
Listen,
Sometimes
we
you gotta put the
became-
zigs in the bag, man.
we became
Yeah.
AD carry players because we saw Uzi tumble around on Vayne, and now I just gotta sit there and throw bombs on Ziggs. This is not what I signed up for.
Look, man, you can play Vayne. Just roll swap to the top lane, and everything's all good. You can be a Vayne
Hey.
electric still.
I
You
did
can play
that in rank
Corki?
5s, and it worked
Yeah.
great.
yeah.
All
So,
your AD carries are now playing top lane.
perfect. That
What if
sounds
we
good
just
to
get
me.
Elk to play top lane?
Big brain.
But that's not the problem. The problem in Weibo right now is in the mid lane. So
No, BLG can get Elk to play top lane.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds horrible for a comms purpose. But
true.
let's now move to the real Weibo section, which is our group Nirvana. We haven't touched on group Nirvana because they basically only play like 2 games a week, and
Yeah, they got the
first week
cheese
was
touch.
kind of boring. So we're looking at group Nirvana, and it's very clear there are 2 2-0 teams, there are 2 0-2 teams, and the scores are even inversed: 4-1, 4-0, 0-4, 1-4. Why is Weibo below? Weibo should not be below them. They should have a game differential of -3.
You are correct. I don't
That
think
is,
anyone. No lies
LNG
detected.
is definitely the worst team. Either way,
Oh,
what
yeah.
I wanted to talk about here, gentlemen, aside from the fact that LNG is clearly the worst team in the league, is there actually any hope that Weibo can make it past. Now with the Xiaohao stuff coming in, the rumor is he's going to start as soon as Wednesday night. Or sorry, Jiejie is going to be starting as soon as EDG's first game, which will be on Wednesday versus Top Esports.
Yeah.
Yeah, Weibo's got a bit of time. They don't play until Saturday, so
yeah.
And they've got
LNG.
A bit of
time. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, this is the funny thing about such small, round robins, like double round robin, only 4 teams, is realistically, Weibo just has to beat LNG and NIP, and if they do that with a better game record than NIP in the back half of the split, they're in. It's it. It doesn't matter that they lost the first time. If they split the series with NIP, even if they lose to IG twice, as long as they beat LNG twice, they're, they just have to have a better game score. It really just comes down to who wins more effectively. And, that's why it was so important that it was a 2-0 for me, for NIP over Weibo, is because those are 2 games that you just cannot make up. Like, even if Weibo win the next series, if they win 2-1, now you're still cooked. And so, they're going to have to 2-0 NIP, and they're likely going to have to 2-0 LNG both times they play them. But also, that could happen. It's not like that's out of the realm of possibility. That is the pathway for Weibo to get out. I feel much better about IG. I'm pretty positive this is just the best team in Group Nirvana, and I imagine they're going to be fine.
Well, the good news for Weibo fans, I guess, if you're kind of really hating what's happening, by the time the end of week 4 rolls around, season's over, baby.
True.
You got NIP and IG in week 4 as well. So you know what? Even before you get to that Sunday game, maybe it is already cooked, and you're just like, yeah, man, we're playing for fun. But
it's really scary, and the reason I bring up the second part of the graphic, which is championship points, look at where Invictus Gaming are. They have 10 points.
Tough.
Ninjas in Pajamas, if they get out, they leapfrog to potentially, they get into that top 9. 9 through 12 gives you no points, which is completely fair. That basically means if you lose your play-ins, season's over for most teams. But you're now tied with EDG and Thunder Talk, who are guaranteed at the very least to get a play-ins game. Yeah. If not, and they do actually start to turn it around, that becomes really scary because now they're going to get at least top 8, and you as IG need to make at least 40 points. Now, couple of ways that happens. Weibo gets knocked out. If Weibo do not get 9th or 10th place, they get 0 points. Highly likely that they're not going to make it. The whole reason I'm getting to this, I want to start the discussion of how possible do we think it is that IG actually makes it to the World Championship this year? Because that is all they're doing in Split 3. The Shy was gone all year. We've had 2 different top laners. We've now shipped Saboro off to Fnatic over in the LEC. How possible? How are we feeling about this?
I mean, genuinely, they could be the 4th best team. It's just about whether or not they're in the spot to be able to do it. You're absolutely right. Weibo has to miss out. This team has to be able to make the run. My big piece of optimism for IG is that JDG has been bad. That is essential for them. If JDG continues to be bad, that's their opening, right? Because the 3 teams, to me, I mean, right now, I'm not saying it's a lock, but it does seem like BLG, Top Esports, AL, they're going to be the 3 teams that have a pretty easy shot of getting to Worlds. BLG likely is going to qualify through championship points, either as the champion or a top 2 seed. One of TES or AL will likely join them. That 4th spot, it's JDG, it's WE, it's IG. Those are the 3 teams that I think are good enough to make Worlds, which is insane to say because one of the teams is in Group Nirvana and the other is WE. If IG is better than those 2 teams and you believe that you're better, all you have to do is make the playoffs. Because this team can go on a top 4 run if they get into the playoffs. They are good enough to beat whoever in the first round, right? They're gonna, I mean, if it's weighted seeding, maybe they don't beat a Top Esports or whatever in round 1. But, if they end up going through and they get this lower bracket run where they're better than, LGD, where they're better than WE, where they're better than JDG, that's what they need to do. And that to me is very possible. I think they're the 4th best team in the LPL.
They need to make top 5, and they need other teams to do poorly. That really worries me because
it's tough.
any combination, the 3 teams that we're not expecting or that are outside of like what we would consider like the big 5 right now, and I'm saying big 5 because I'm leaning on JDG's past achievements and as a name brand. We're not talking about like current statistics and everything. LGD, EDG, and TT, one of these 3 teams is going to finish top 6. And so they're automatically going to get 30 points. So you're LGD, you're at 45. If you're EDG, you're at 40. TT, you're at 40. And that means that IG need to outplace these guys.
Correct me if I'm wrong on like the playoff
Yeah.
format, but they don't automatically finish like top 6. They're just guaranteed playoffs, right? Like top 6 guarantees. Like they're functionally like they're making playoffs, but they still would be able to get 8th in the playoffs, right?
I'm pretty sure play-ins would count you as 9th because it's an 18 playoff. So
Okay.
getting in.
Well, that's what I'm
doesn't-
saying. Like let's say
Okay,
LGD gets 6th. Like they could still get 8th in the playoffs and still only get the 15 championship points, even if they get 6th in
Correct.
the regular season.
Yes.
Like
that is
they're not
correct. Yes,
guaranteed
yes.
30 championship
Yes.
points
No,
just by getting
no.
there. And
No,
also,
no,
if
no.
IG is in the playoffs, that means one of EDG, Thunder Talk, or LGD is guaranteed not because they beat them to get in. So, like, yes, we can talk about, IG has this like crazy road. If they're in the playoffs, like that to me is the stress. They just have to get there, and they have to hope Weibo's not there. Like those are, I think, are the 2 most critical factors.
Well, the good news is I don't think they'll have to worry about that last part. It's not looking too hot. But again, with those changes, you never know. Now, what would be the most hilarious thing is that IG goes on the run, they get 40 points, and then they're somehow still tied with Weibo for 40 points, and they have some sort of play-in to get into the regional final, which would be hilarious.
I think it is recency. It's based on recency. So,
good,
tiebreaker.
because it
Yeah.
should be, because it would be the funniest thing ever if they had to play a game against them and somehow lost. And then
I would
that's
be
just,
down
like,
for it
how
though.
goes.
I would totally
Yeah,
be down for
I
a,
would
for
be-
a
it would be
one best of 5 day remote gameplay. Same
why
thing that
not?
happened. Yeah, and just have them play from home. I would love
That would
that.
be
I think
hella
that would be fun.
But yeah, the recency. Thank God they have recency because that 40 points is a long way away from for Weibo there. That was ancient history at this point. So yeah, it will be a pretty interesting way to see this shape up, especially if another team happens to grab 30 points out of like EDG or Thunder Talk, right? Let's say like 2 of these 3 teams happen to grab 30 points. That creates a lot of really fun and interesting scenarios for teams that, frankly, out of like Thunder Talk, I'd say, would at least deserve it somewhat, even though their record doesn't indicate it now, just because of the way they've played some of these top teams.
I mean, the lucky thing, if you're an IG fan and you really want to see this team at Worlds, I think the lucky thing for you is that the most likely outcome right now is that the top 6 teams are BLG, Top Esports, AL, and then JDG, WE, and then Invictus, and that's your top 6, right? Like either that or NIP could potentially sneak in. Like it is definitely less likely that these teams are making top 6. At least in terms of the expectation. One of them's going to make the playoffs. Likely only one of them is going to make the playoffs. I mean, unless you really think that LGD or Thunder Talk is better than NIP, because we're probably going to get one of those series as well.
We saw it once.
We did in a very fun little play-in stage that we got with no weird aura around it. But yeah, I mean, to me, I think the numbers make it look worse than it actually is. I think the reality of this situation for IG is much more achievable than maybe the raw numbers would make it seem.
And then they have to win the regional finals. They have to at least win one best of 5.
That's gonna be
because it's
hard.
Winner and
Or-
runner up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
one best of 5 win. That's all you really need. Well, one best,
Or win
a
the
couple
league.
of best of 5 wins, and then another +1 best of 5 win, at least in the regional finals, to get you in there. And that's if you are the highest seed going in. If you are essentially the 5th and 6th seeds going in, you lose one best of 5, you're done. That's it, and then you're not even playing for a potential seed. We are all super thankful that BLG got to the finals of MSI, giving them a 4th spot. I actually wonder, so the way that it works, right, and we've talked about this before, is that for MSI, the 2 teams that make it, for the MSI winner, they automatically are seeded into MSI based on if they make their playoffs of their regionals of their own domestic split. So as long as HLE make playoffs, they will automatically qualify into the World Championship. And LPL has now gotten a 4th seed at Worlds because of BLG getting there. BLG will have the most points at 190, Top Esports at 90. If they win the split, then it just means that they get to go as our 1st seed. Then whoever has the 2nd most amount of points, likely that it'll be Top Esports. JDG have a lot of like house money to play with. It is really hard to mess this position up from here to not at least go from the regional finals. I just am a little worried that IG will not have the games played against relevant enough teams, even if they get to the regional finals. And the most clutch best of 5 win you're going to need all year is this one. For teams like JDG, for teams like WE, that is where all of your year's prep and homework and practice has gone into just to make this tournament.
And we know that they're not great at clutch best of 5s, as evidenced by Worlds last year.
Damn.
Tough.
Damn.
Faker, man.
Yeah, not only like any of that.
What do you mean, Faker?
Terrible.
The spy came in, bro.
The spy.
Do you remember
Dude,
the
this
org?
guy-
I do. Oh, I remember.
This guy played so
I was
good
there.
all year, and then oh my god! I'm sorry. I'm still like giga tilted about that because like I have a lot of friends that like we've played.
I remember the
together
Rek'Sai
for
game.
a while, and
I remember the Rumble game.
And we, have been paying attention to Pro League, and they don't pay as close attention as they used to, 10 years ago when we were all doing it. So they ask me a lot of stuff. They're like, man, the Shy sucks. And I'm like, dude, no, he does not. He was playing so well all year. He was piss smurfing on people. And then that happened. I just could not defend my GOAT. It's so sad.
I am begging someone to send a message to the Shy and tell him to stop playing well domestically. He has never played well domestically and then gone on to Worlds to be good.
I think he needs to play well domestically
happened.
to get to Worlds here, buddy.
Yeah, let's play a little well. Let's play a little well. Look, we're playing against Sheer. It's going to be a free win, but
he needs to run it down a mandatory amount of times domestically so that when he goes to Worlds, he just randomly turns it on. You think Weibo Gaming got to World Finals by him being good in the LPL? No.
No.
He was horrible in the LPL, and then he was the best player at Worlds. And that's how it works with the Shy. He has to save his power. He's using too much of it right now.
Wait, he saved his power by just not playing.
Maybe that's the strat.
Yeah. All right. Is there any other... I know this was mostly an IG section that was kind of favored for them. I'm really happy about NIP.
Yeah.
Photic looks so good, and so, people were like, man, he's playing against LNG, like, he's not going to style. I was like, okay, sure, 1xN ran it down. Let's get another couple of, let's see another series. Him and Fengyue look perfect. I was like, okay. And then we're getting some good care games. Guwon is the summer riser right now. This guy is on another level. And I thought with a support change that it would look worse, but it just feels like Fengyue is off the leash. He gets to play with Guwon. Everything is going well for this team. I want to see how far they can go because this is really exciting. And I think that their story got completely cut off when they lost that best of 5 in the play-ins.
Turns out when you add a guy who's been to an international this year, your team gets better. Who knew?
Mm-hmm.
Great job, Top Esports. Appreciate the bailout here for NIP.
Hang on. This entire time we've been talking about maybe BLG get Hoya, but maybe NIP should get Bin.
Oh, have we considered the
That
alternative?
will not work.
Have
That
we
will not
considered
work.
the opposite?
We considered the alternative.
Let's not do that. I don't need to see. In the same way, I didn't really want to see Hoya in a BLG jersey. I do not want to see Bin in a NIP jersey. At least this year. We'll see what next year looks like. But, Jen, any opinions on NIP?
Honestly,
Good team, happy they're doing well.
yeah, they look great. They look really comfortable. It feels like the team is meshing well. Fengyue has come in and hit the ground running. He looks exactly like he did on TES. Care has been on fire. I think
Yes.
he's been awesome to start this split. If he's going to keep that up, I mean, if he's the best mid laner in Group Nirvana, which right now kind of is. I mean, Rookie's been really good too, but like, I mean, it's possible for Care to continue this run. Then they're gonna be everything we said about IG. We can say about NIP. Like, this team can still make worlds. Like, if IG can make worlds, NIP can make worlds. They're basically in the same spot.
What would be a better story? IG making worlds or NIP making worlds? I think it's gotta be NIP.
Get me Guwon at Worlds right now.
Give me Care at Worlds, dude.
True.
Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. Get me Photic
I'm
at
so happy
Worlds.
for that guy.
Okay, let's calm down now. Let's not.
Justice for Fungyua.
Don't show me Photic at Worlds, please. Computer generate anything else. Anything other than that, please. All right. That's kind of it for the actual part of the show. I know we have a special segment coming in from producer Ilya. I was told that there was something about a punishment or something. I don't really remember. We're 50 minutes deep.
A punishment?
Yeah.
I
another
don't
damn
like the
quiz.
look of this.
Everybody, do we remember our Chinese lessons?
What was the question?
Oh
Do we
boy.
remember
What
our
was the
Chinese
question?
lessons?
Yes.
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 You should be fine.
You said this last week, and then we turned off the cameras, and I had 16 black eyes. So
You can't say that on a podcast.
yes, I can. I just
Say anything you want in a podcast.
I can say anything I want. It's my podcast.
Our podcast. Who
Our
do you think's
podcast.
recording it?
That's our podcast. But
All right. Anyways, hope you've been learning, remembering your Mandarin. This should be really easy.
it should be really easy.
Question 1. Using what we have learned so far.
This is the same one from last
I
week.
told you it was the same one
It
from
is,
last
yes.
week. Using what we have learned so far, if Shanghai uses the words shang, up, and hai, ocean, to mean Shanghai, the city, which one of these following terms means top lane in League of Legends? Is it A, Shangdan, B, Zhongdan, or C, Xiadan?
Guys, it's
I
A.
think I know the answer.
Yeah, it feels like a
think
trick.
A.
It's A.
It feels like it's
only
definitely
because
A.
we got it on the left side there. I'm trusting the process.
Correct.
Awesome.
Yay!
It even spins.
It even spins. All right.
Me too.
Question number 2. Which one of these following terms means
remember this
League of
one.
Legends? Is it A, 英雄联盟, B, C, 英雄联盟, it didn't save, B, 英雄联盟, or D, 英雄联盟?
I know this one.
Why was C before B?
I don't know how to use Google Search.
Oh man.
My producer, man. I know this one. I know this one.
Oh.
I'm waiting for you guys to get this.
C never fails.
I'm gonna go with B.
You guys see these 4 characters on stream every single
Can I answer?
It is
I
You're
recognize
so
the
right.
first one the most.
I know
You're
the
so
answer.
right.
I know the
Or
answer.
I recognize C the most for sure.
You're so right.
Okay.
Is it? Wait.
You answered this last week. Hey,
The
looking at our posters
cheating?
is cheating.
Cheating?
Hey,
It's either C or
I have
D.
to have-
I'm
I have to
confident
have-
that
I have to have
the first
something in
character
here.
is
I
correct
have to.
for C
I
or
have
D.
to have something in here that's Chinese for sure. That's part of League of Legends.
I have written this on the podcast, and I'm confident that I wrote, at the very least, either the first character of C and D. So I'm taking a guess and saying it's C on a 50-50.
I watched the podcast. I laughed at this question, the way that Kai roasted everybody, and then I never thought that I'd be on the opposite end of it the very next week.
I
Yeah,
also
this is your
watched this
fault, man.
podcast.
Yeah, my
you
bad.
guys both watched it.
Okay. The answer, guys. It's D. It's D.
No.
Fuck.
Show me the answer, producer Ilya.
Let's
go!
I took the 50-50 and lost, bro.
Let's go.
Take my smite key away.
The posters over there, it's not on there.
Take my smite key away, bro. I lost the 50-50.
Yeah, because the posters that I looked at are for
Nice
MSI,
one,
and
Smite
the opposite
Vicious.
side is for the Blood Money Cup, okay? But we only keep the MSI one visible for everybody. So,
Good call. Good
I
call.
could not. I didn't even cheat. So,
You cheated. I would be very, very sad if you got this one
yeah,
wrong.
I would have had
considering
17 black eyes after
you
this.
answered this question last week.
I would not be able to see the
Very
story
confidently
meeting.
correct.
Another 17 liters of black eyes.
Yeah, actually.
Oh man, maybe I had stuff
Study
in here
Chinese,
that would.
everyone.
I did my.
I'll be
I did it,
studying.
guys.
So it's really funny that you mentioned that because
What's up?
In my friend group, one of my friends was like, "Me and my girlfriend are gonna take a Mandarin class. Does anybody want to join?" Like, all right. I mean, I guess I've got no excuse now. I'm in.
Yeah, get in
Yeah.
there.
Lock in.
Absolutely.
On the ground coverage. We need it.
It'll be fantastic.
欢迎
I
来
feel
到学习中文的地方. Welcome. to
Yeah,
the place
for
where you
sure.
can Learn Chinese.
There you go.
I feel like my brain plasticity has gotten worse over the years. So I am worried.
That's just because
that
you're
I'm-
old.
We're
It
all League of
is.
Legends
It
players. We are all
is.
deteriorating.
It
There
is
is
because I'm
no
old.
exception on
Like,
that.
I'm not good at Riftbound. I'm not good at League. I don't know, man. Like, we gotta lock in to learn Chinese, though.
All right. Final slide before we send everybody home. If you're not already there, we got our schedule for this upcoming week. There's not a League Classic show match in the middle of the week anymore, so we are back to having 3 best of 3s for 4 days after Wednesday. Yanni, I will come to you first. What is the series of the week for you? What is the series that, if people at home only have time to watch one, what is the one that they should be watching this week?
This is so tough because I'm torn between IGNIP and WE Thunder Talk.
Dang.
Damn.
I am gonna say Team WE and Thunder Talk because I think that you're gonna get a lot of chaos out of that series. And if you can only watch one series and you want your absolute fill of League of Legends and something that's so authentically LPL, I think it's gonna be that series.
I think that's a good one.
Kman?
I mean, someone's got to be the boring guy. Like, I shilled for LGD Thunder Talk, and I do think that series matters a ton. If you want a series with stakes, it should be that. Someone's got to be the boring person that says BLG top esports.
It's a good
Right?
one.
Like, I mean,
It's going to be a 2-0.
or it could be up to 0-2, you know, in the other direction. I mean, if this
Maybe.
is Flandre debut, Flandre debut on BLG. That's got to be the thing that we all tune in, and we hope and pray that it's a strong BLG 2-0 and that this team looks like they can win the World Championships.
Somebody out there might say, well, Alk, if you want to be funny, you could just choose JDG, EDG, and then just say that people should just watch all of the Friday games. But no, there's one series here that is unlike everything else. There's one series here that matters the most, potentially the most important best of 3 we will play all split long. Saturday night, first series of the day, Weibo versus LNG for the sole possession of last place in Group Nirvana, and likely the series that locks one of these teams out from getting top 2 in the LPL. I want to see it. I want to see the toilet bowl. We got to swirl, boys. We got to swirl. Now, are we American
When I open
swirling
my
and we're going to
Pokemon
the
cards.
left? Or are we Australian and we're swirling to the
Is Shea
right?
Beto on that series?
You know what? Let's check, because that would be
It's
a lot of
coming
fun.
right now.
Hold on, wait.
I'm checking the
wait,
schedule. Let's grab the schedule. Sunday
wait,
night.
wait.
Who is on that?
Fulls
Quacks
and
and
Grape.
Oh wait, no, it is
Wait.
Fulls and Grapes.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's Fulls and
wow.
Grapes. Fulls and Grapes.
Bulls and
Damn.
grapes.
Damn. That's crazy. That's cheeks. So, not the caster pair, just
I was
Guys,
like,
the
dang,
games.
I like both of them
The
a
game.
lot. That's
This is
rude.
how our boss really feels about us.
Yeah.
You know what?
Probably airing out
Actually,
grievances.
Fulls. Actually, can I get a producer? Can I get a full Can I get a full screen
Yeah,
real quick?
full cam.
On my cam.
I know where this is going.
Yeah.
We're gonna wait as I just threw this at producer Elia. Okay. I'm gonna pull up the sheet real quick so I can so we can do this. Sheet IO. I'm not that fast of a typer. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
All right. Please go to our coffee so that Fools is no longer using the worst mic in all of human existence. He knows it. He himself excused himself from a cast because he didn't have the mic. Over at Winthrop, apparently the socials team took the mics with them when they went to, I think it was there's like a collegiate
The
awards
NACE conference
ceremony
or something?
I think it's NACE
Yeah.
conference, and they give out a bunch of
Yeah.
awards to like socials and content teams around the universities here in NA. We're waiting for them to come back. Fools should have a real mic, but if he doesn't, you can use coffee and you can support the LPL English, which helps pay the cast and crew that bring you an LPL English product every single day. And we use it sometimes to help give back to our crew, aka get them real mics. Okay, we can go back to the regular setup of the podcast, the 3 cam. That was it. I don't want to put Fools on blast, but that mic was trash, and it was for IG's debut. I was like, oh god. I love you, man. I
Incredible.
love you, man. But
Sometimes you gotta cast on the tin can, you know?
yeah.
Hey, you
So-
do what you gotta do, man.
We've all done it. We've all done it at one point.
I had to pull out mic number 3 for finals last split. We went
Oh,
through some
no.
technical difficulties. We got there.
Dude, you scared me with that, by the way, because you're like, oh man, my mic's not working. I was like, please don't be a trash mic. Please, I'm begging you. Just don't be. I know you're like, oh, this mic hasn't worked in a long while. I'm like really scared. I was like, oh, it just sounds like it's fine. Okay, never mind then.
Yeah.
I'm less worried. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. We made it all the way through our alcohol legal episode of the LPL English podcast. Kman, Yanni, where can people find you this next week?
You can find me on LPL English. I'm on multiple series this upcoming week. Yanni shouted out my series as the one to watch, so I'm pretty excited about that. WE Thunder Talk. I'm very excited to be on that with Dia. That's going to be a really enjoyable one. I'm also on BLG EDG on Saturday night with Slayer as well, so definitely going to be a fun week. You can also find me on YouTube at Super Kman Rocks. I upload every single week about the LPL, going over every single game, player of the week, dud of the week, all of that stuff. We talk about every single thing. Same thing for the other regions. It's a good follow, at least in my opinion. We put a lot of effort in that channel, so, you know.
I can agree
Definitely check it
that
out.
I can agree that it's a good follow for me. You can find me on the Wednesday match, the first match of Wednesday, JDG versus LGD. That's going to be it for me for that week, though. But the week afterward, I got a couple of casts, including LGD versus JDG. I get to do one, and then I get to do the other the very next week, so that'll be pretty fun. Outside of that, you can find me on X at Yanni Casts. I occasionally tweet about Riftbound and sometimes League of
Damn,
Legends.
this
It feels like I do a lot more Riftbound stuff when it comes to content and talking about it than League right now. But it's like League is always number one in the heart.
Call it Twitter.
Yeah, call it Twitter, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
Call it.
Yeah.
This
I
is the
prefer-
one time it's okay to dead name something.
I prefer. That's crazy.
This is
I
the
do
only
prefer to
time
call
you
it
get
Twitter. I love Twitter. I will it'll always be Twitter.
Yeah, you called it X. See how it is. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another podcast episode. We'll be back next week on Monday for yet another episode. Remember, we're going into week 3 of the regular season. We only got 5 of these before we go into playoffs. So make sure you're tuning in on Wednesday, August 5th, 2 a.m. PDT, actually, for all it was a 2-day series or a 2-series day. Thank you, everybody, and make sure you're following LPL English everywhere on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, everywhere you can find us, and have a great night.